Brazil keen to strengthen ties with Malaysia, while Sarawak is leading by example in the production and manufacturing of sustainable batteries. Plus, 2 killed in Putrajaya multi-vehicle crash earlier today. These are the headlines for tonight. Good evening, you're now with me, Radzi Ahmad, and this is TVS Nightline. Brazil has expressed eagerness to strengthen ties with Malaysia in the fields of culture and arts. Tourism, Creative Industry and Performing Arts Minister Datuk Sri Abdul Karim Hamzah notes that Brazil and Sarawak share several similarities in terms of environment, cultures and arts.
Dan saya dapat melihat bahawa Brazil dengan Sarawak, terutama sekali apabila Duta Brazil di Malaysia, Excellency Ava, dia datang ke Sarawak pada bulan Julai yang lepas dan baru-baru ini untuk Hari Malaysia. Dan beliau amat tertarik sekali dengan apa yang beliau lihat. Banyak persamaan, especially terutama sekali berkenaan dengan khazanah hutan, rainforest, yang sedikit sebanyak Amazon dengan apa yang ada di bumi Borneo, terutama sekali di Sarawak, banyak persamaan. Dan sebab itulah telah menyuntik minat beliau untuk meminta Yang Amat Berhormat Premier untuk hadir.
Karim was representing Sarawak's Premier Datuk Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Jari Tunopeng at the opening ceremony of the Brazilian Film Festival at Golden Screen Cinemas GSC Mid Valley in Kuala Lumpur on Tuesday. The festival, he said, served as a testament to Brazil's thriving movie industry as well as the potential it holds to bridge the hearts across this continent and at the same time expose Malaysians to Brazilian movies. Also present at the screening were Ambassador of Brazil to Malaysia Ari Norton D. Murad Quintela and National Film Development Corporation Malaysia FINA's Chairman Datuk Kamil Othman. Meanwhile, Ambassador of Brazil to Malaysia Ari Norton D. Murad Quintela said the first edition of the Brazilian Film Festival in Malaysia will take place at Golden Screen Cinemas in Mid Valley next week. He said film lovers will get a chance to watch some of the best works produced in Brazil over the last few years for free.
This is the first ever Brazilian film festival in Malaysia. Both Brazil and Malaysia are biodiverse countries, mega diverse countries in terms of biodiversity, and they have huge expanse of rainforest. And especially when I go to Sarawak, I identify a lot with the state of Sarawak. It reminds me a lot of the Amazon region.
Organized by the Embassy of Brazil in Malaysia, 3 movies will be screened from September 21st to 24th, namely Aquarius, Bacurau, and musical documentary Amazonia Groove.
In its aspirations toward becoming the battery of ASEAN, Sarawak is leading by example in the production and manufacturing of sustainable batteries. Premier Sarawak Datuk Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Jari Tunopeng said Sarawak holds the potential to reshape the global clean energy landscape.
Stressing on the importance of producing eco-friendly products, Abang Jari called upon industry players to explore lithium-ion battery substitutes such as zinc, which is touted to be more eco-friendly.
And therefore, since this factory is going to have collaboration with University College ICAD, I would like ICAD to work with them and try to explore the substitute of lithium. The battery is eco-friendly. I'm sure. Mana Datuk Teh hilang sudah? Oh here, Datuk Teh, with his experience, will be able to adjust to the new technology, and I hope Sarawak will produce eco-friendly battery for the world, not only for Sarawak, but for the world.
He said this when opening the Fuya Energy Sdn Berhad at Demak Laut Industrial Park on Wednesday. He added as Sarawak's energy generation mix relied on renewable and green sources from hydropower and gas, the products produced in Sarawak is made using renewable energy and have low carbon impact. Thus, it qualifies as environmentally friendly product.
In other words, what is the impact on industries in Sarawak? The impact is industries, manufacturing plant in Sarawak are using friendly energy, and therefore you become low carbon supplier of all the material processed in Sarawak. In other words, this battery produced by Fuya is using renewable energy as part of the process.
On the Fuya energy expansion to Sarawak, Abang Jori noted that it represents a major milestone in Sarawak's journey towards cleaner energy sources.
In other news, 2 people were killed and several others injured in an accident involving a lorry and several vehicles at kilometer 5.7 of Jalan Persiaran Utara heading towards Puchong on Wednesday. The 10:15 a.m. incident involves 6 cars, 2 lorries, 3 motorcycles and a police outrider motorcycle after one of the lorries crashed into several stalled vehicles believed to make way for a convoy. Putrajaya District Police Chief ACP A. Asmadi Abdul Aziz said that based on a CCTV recording, the lorry attempted to change lanes but failed to brake on time and crashed into several vehicles. 2 men were confirmed dead at the scene by paramedics. 7 other victims are receiving treatment at Putrajaya Hospital and Serdang Hospital. An investigation is being conducted under Section 41(1) of the Road Transport Act 1987. Meanwhile, back home, a horrific car crash at Jalan FHC Matang claimed the lives of 2 educators earlier today. Kuching District Police Chief ACP Ashmon Baja said one of the victims was identified as a 44-year-old female lecturer of a local polytechnic, while the other was identified as a 33-year-old male teacher of a primary school. Both victims were pronounced dead at the scene by medical personnel, and their bodies were brought to Sarawak General Hospital for further action. The case is being investigated under Section 41(1) of the Road Transport Act 1987. Hands-on learning is an indispensable component, particularly within the realm of a technical working environment. In the ever-evolving and unpredictable landscape of the oil and gas sector, readiness and resilience become the invaluable assets when operating in the field. At Institute Technology Petroleum Petronas, their program and environment serve as fertile ground for embracing experiential learning, resulting in indelible experiences for their graduates. Now let's hear from our anak-anak Sarawak who have embarked on the journey on bridging the skills gap.
For Kelvin Chung, a Lun Bawang who hails from Miri, competency comes not only from skills, but through his month of training. He discovers that the right attitude garners a harmonious working environment, especially when working in a team.
Seorang juruteknik yang kompeten, bukan hanya dari segi hand skill, tetapi dari segi attitude dan disiplin yang tinggi untuk melakukan sesuatu task tersebut. Sebab skill kita orang boleh belajar, tetapi attitude dan disiplin sangat susah untuk kita terapkan dalam diri kita. So, for me, aspirasi saya menggalakkan juruteknik ataupun trainee ataupun orang-orang di luar sana untuk lebih mengenali budaya dan etnik di sekeliling kita untuk mencapai suasana kerja yang lebih harmoni.
For another graduate, Aini Mariani, she feels empowered as a woman, although often seen as a minority in the oil and gas sector. However, when being in a diverse community and inclusive platform, it fuels her passion in the pursuit of chasing her dreams.
Contoh macam untuk wanita lah, mun sidaknya rasa sidak mau jadi technician, tapi macam yang kita tahu, perempuan kan minoriti. Kita sih payah takut pun sebab ini tu semua orang macam Petronas toknya diversity lah. Jadi jangan takut sebab bila kita minat, kita mesti berusaha juga untuk dapatkan mendaya sebab ia adalah minat kita.
Mikrolius Embat from Bintulu revealed that time management is the most important lesson he has gained from the program when at the most crucial time.
Maka task kah, dia maka satu subjeknya kadang kami satu subjeknya tempoh ya kadang 1 minggu ataupun 2 minggu lah. So masa saya amat terhad. So nama tu. So aku belajarlah dari segi mengatur masanya, mengatur masa so lebih manih lagi. So pengawak aku kira dah teratur lah. So pengawak aku complete semua. Assignmentnya macam assignment diberi instruktur semua, macam report semua.
Meanwhile, for Jason Dusit, being new poses as a challenge, but a good exposure sparked his confidence.
Bila masuk sini memang memang banyak benda baru. Macam contohnya macam belajar pasal pump, belajar pasal pipe semua tu kan. Terutama pump lah. Sebelum ni tidak pernah pun terfikir mau belajar pasal pump, tapi sampai sini dia ajar pasal pump, kompresor semua tu. Memang boleh dikatakan satu cabaran jugalah. Tapi bila dah tahu tu, bila pasang niat dah tahu benda tu, okey, akhirnya dapat juga capai. Sebab macam yang kita tahu lah, kalau yang benda-benda macam ni, benda ni akan memberi efek dalam proses flow output untuk tu, jadi membantulah.
The Technical Enrichment Program, TEP, is a 10-month pre-employment sponsorship program sponsored by Petronas Carigali Sarawak Asset and Sabah Asset. From year 2007 until 2017, the Petroleum Technology Program, PTP1, in INSTEP had trained 2,026 trainees from Sarawak.
In other news, Sarawak recorded a surge in rabies cases affecting humans, with 17 cases and 15 deaths as of January 1st to September 17th, compared to the same period last year. Sarawak Health Director Dr. Oi Chu Hak said of the 17 cases, Cebu recorded the highest with 5, while Sirian recorded 4, 3 in Kuching and Bintulu respectively, and 2 cases in Samarahan.
An assessment of 4 fatal cases occurring in August and September revealed that 2 instances involved victims being bitten by the pet dogs, while another case entailed scratching by the pet cat. In contrast, another victim contracted the infection while handling the deceased pet dog Cockers. It was noted that none of the 4 individuals sought medical treatment at any healthcare facility following their respective incidents. Consequently, the public is strongly encouraged to promptly seek medical attention if they experience bites, scratches, or come into contact with unfamiliar animal remains.
Coming up right after the break, the 12 Malaysia Plan midterm review tabled in Dewan Negara today. And in world news, Ukraine allies back Kiev's genocide challenge against Russia in the World Court. Only on TVS Nightline. Stay tuned. Back on TVS Nightline, the 12th Malaysia Plan Midterm Review 12MP MTR was presented today in a special Dewan Negara session where it outlines policies and initiatives aimed at enhancing the country's development and the well-being of its people, with a focus on achieving the goals of the Madani economy. Economy Minister Rafizi Ramli, who tabled the motion, which increases the expenditure ceiling by 15 billion ringgit, will be debated by Senate members over the 4-day sitting.
Rafizi stated that 12th MP MTR gives new priority and emphasis on policies, strategies and initiatives for socio-economic development and steps to enhance the country's governance, with 3 main focuses, that is strengthening sustainability, developing a prosperous society and moving towards a high-income nation. The motion on the 12th MP MTR involving a total allocations of 415 billion ringgit was passed with a majority voice vote in the Dewan Rakyat on Tuesday. Therefore, Rafizi expresses hope that all the senators would give their cooperation, support and blessings for the government's efforts to plan and implement the national development agenda in line with the aspirations of Malaysia Madani.
In another development, Economy Minister Rafizi Ramli also stated that the government will organize a startup convention in the near future, among other things, to produce more local technopreneurs. He added that the development of startup companies is a prerequisite for accelerating the country's economic transition towards technology and digital-based industries.
He said this when tabling the motion for the 12th Malaysia Plan Midterm Review at the Dewan Negara. Rafizi believes that the government would also ensure that the venture capital ecosystem continues to be strengthened to expedite the formation of technology-based startups.
Dewan Negara President Tan Sri Dr. Wan Junaidi Tuanku Jaafar has reminded senators to always maintain decorum when debating the motion on the 12th Malaysia Plan 2021 to 2025 Midterm Review 12MP MTR at the Dewan Negara sitting that started today. He said that all members of the Dewan Negara should also refrain from touching on the personal matters of the minister if they do not agree with the government.
Ya, kalau kita baca perkara 45(2), maka dengan itu saya berharap kita mesti menunjukkan sikap peradaban yang dikehendaki ataupun tersemat dalam perlembagaan tertentu sendiri. Jadi apa yang berlaku di Dewan Rakyat semalam telah menjadi cemuhan umum. Jadi kita tidak mahu perkara yang sama berlaku di Dewan Negara.
Wan Junaidi said he did not want the heated arguments that transpired in the Dewan Rakyat yesterday when Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim was delivering his winding-up speech on the 12th MP MTR motion to occur in the Senate. Meanwhile, Wan Junaidi said senators are not required to wear neckties when attending the Dewan Negara sitting in accordance with the practice of members of the lower house. He said that the decision was made following a discussion with Dewan Negara Secretary Muhammad Sujairi Abdullah. The special Negara sitting, which started today, will take place until September 26.
Refrain from panic buying local rice to prevent supply shortages in the market. Minister of Agriculture and Food Security Datuk Sri Muhammad Sabu said his ministry, through the Federal Agricultural Marketing Authority and the Farmers Organisation Authority, is performing interventions to increase supply in 1 month's time. He said this is a temporary action while waiting the harvest of 20% of the paddy at areas under the Muda Agricultural Development Authority, MADA, which will be processed and manufactured. Wholesalers and manufacturers are also working together to address the shortage of rice in the market.
Beli kadar biasa kerana kenaikan harga yang berlaku ini, kenaikan harga beras import yang mendadak dan berlaku kenaikan harga ini di seluruh dunia, termasuk negara jiran kita Indonesia sekarang ini menghadapi masalah kenaikan harga beras import.
The ministry said through the Paddy and Rice Regulatory Authority, it is also aggressively moving against certain parties manipulating the rice supply.
pasukan mereka sentiasa membuat serbuan-serbuan. Kalau ada aduan-aduan dan sebagainya, misalnya tukar kampik beras, beras tempatan dijual dengan harga beras import, ini diambil langkah secara agresif sekarang ini.
Previously, reports surfaced of complaints regarding rice supply shortages at several markets following a hike in imported rice prices. Sarawak, however, did not experience such an issue, as was said by Sarawak Paddy and Rice Regulatory Authority Director Nur Azizan Razali. The Congress of Unions of Employees in the Public and Civil Services, or QPACS, has proposed that the government increase civil servant salaries by up to 300 ringgit in the upcoming budget 2024, which is expected to be tabled next month. Additionally, the Congress hopes that the government will consider granting civil servants a minimum bonus of 1.5 months' salary.
QPACS President Dato' Adnan Mat said the salary increment would help civil servants deal with the rising cost of living while waiting for the new public service salary scheme to be implemented in 2025. In a statement, Adnan said QPACS was aware of the government's financial constraints, but at the same time, civil servants needed the government's assistance to boost their work motivation. QPACS also proposed that the government provide at least a 30% discount in income tax for all civil servants and increase the calculation of pension to the total number of years of service up to 35 years to ensure they receive the maximum amount of pension possible. Currently, the pension amount of civil servants' pension is calculated based on 360 months or 30 years of service. On July 13, the Prime Minister announced that the public service salary scheme will be proposed to be increased in stages based on the nation's economic capability. The proposal will be tabled during a meeting with Chief Secretary to the Government, Tan Sri Muhammad Zuki Ali, and Director General of Public Service, Dato' Zulkifli Muhammad.
Back on TVS Nightline and on to world affairs, more than a dozen European states, as well as Australia and Canada, on Wednesday asked the World Court to decide it has jurisdiction in a case brought by Kiev alleging that Russia abused the Genocide Convention to provide a pretext for the invasion of Ukraine. Ukraine brought the case to the International Court of Justice, ICJ, the highest UN court for disputes between states, days after Russia launched a full-scale war on its smaller neighbor on February 24 last year.
Kiev argues that Russia is abusing the 1948 UN Genocide Convention adopted in the aftermath of World War II by saying the invasion was justified to stop an alleged genocide in eastern Ukraine. Some 150 states have signed the convention and as such have an interest in how it should be interpreted by the court. An unprecedented number of states have intervened in this ICJ case in a strong show of support for Kiev. Russia asked the court on Monday to throw out the case, claiming Kiev's legal arguments were hopelessly flawed and that Moscow had not actually invoked the genocide treaty when it used the term genocide. Some 32 states will address the court, all in support of Ukraine, which wants the court to go on and hear the case on merit and find that Russia must pay reparations. Ukraine said there was no risk of genocide in eastern Ukraine, where it had been fighting Russian-backed forces since 2014. The convention defines genocide as crimes committed with intent to destroy, in whole or in part, a national, ethnical, racial or religious group as such.
Meanwhile, Canada is not attempting to incite India through its assertion that its agents were connected to the assassination of a Sikh separatist leader. However, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has emphasized the importance of New Delhi in addressing the matter appropriately.
As I've said, India and the government of India needs to take this matter with the utmost seriousness. We are doing that. We are not looking to provoke or escalate. We are simply laying out the facts as we understand them, and we want to work with the government of India to lay everything clear and to ensure that there is proper process.
The incident has dealt a fresh blow to diplomatic ties that have been fraying for years, with New Delhi unhappy over Sikh separatist activity in Canada, which it now threatens thread ties to, with talks on a proposed trade deal frozen last week. Both countries have expelled a diplomat in a tat-for-tat moves, with Canada throwing out India's top intelligence agent and New Delhi responding by giving a Canadian diplomat 5 days to leave.
See the world closer with TVS as we bring you the latest news updates both locally and internationally. For more headlines anytime, anywhere, just head on to our official website at tvstv.my or follow us on our social media platforms. And those were the updates for tonight. I am Razi Ahmad. Thank you for watching and have a good night.